Shock gets nothing effect. Has that one taken away by Troy Hellman. It seems like this could be.
How do you feel the stage has evolved? You joined the team pretty recently, and so far I think that it's been a period of adapting, everyone getting to know each other and their play styles. How do you think that's coming together, and you feel like you're gelling well with the team?
Yeah, I definitely feel like, when you can see there's moments when everything gels together perfectly, and we play like insane Overwatch. Like we almost beat Shock, we almost beat, I don't want to say we almost beat Vancouver, but it was a very close series. We almost beat Shanghai. All these teams are top 6 teams. So I feel like there's moments where you see like all the practice, everything we've been doing, working amazingly together, right? But then we just don't have the time under our belt. We need more time to get everything together perfectly. A good example is the Shock. They weren't a good team the first OWL season. You know what I mean? It took them a lot of time and a lot of practice to get to where they're at now. So it's just a time thing for us. That's pretty much it.
Very cool. How do you feel about the team welcoming you? Do you feel like Atlanta has been a good home for you compared maybe to San Francisco Shock?
I mean, both are great organizations to work for. I mean, Atlanta is extremely generous to their players, which is phenomenal, right? Paul's an awesome dude, and they were very welcoming of me, and I appreciate it a lot. But Shock was also very good too, so it's it's not like I've been treated bad anywhere. So I've had good taste in both organizations.
The last question that I want to ask you is, how do you see the Atlanta roster going? We've seen that Sombra already has become kind of a mainstay this season, and a lot of teams have had to adapt to that, right? Houston was one of the teams that was struggling a little bit, and they seem to have figured it out, have showed everyone hey, you got to watch out for the Sombra. Diva seems to be phased out a little bit more. How do you think Atlanta is adapting to that? We're seeing a lot more Sombra from you, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we even ran Sombra, I ran Sombra even stage 2 when other teams ran a lot of DPS, but I think the main switch was people are running Sombra Goats now. So they're able to transition from 3 DPS into Sombra Goats, which beats the counter that we play, right? But I think that we weren't able to adapt as much as we would like to because I joined this team late, right? I joined this team in stage 2. We didn't have a lot of time under our belt. We didn't have a lot of time to do much of anything, really. I had 2 days of practice before I went into my first match with Atlanta Reign. So, that being said, coming into this stage, we knew Sombra was looking better after our Shock matches and after playing Shanghai mainly. We knew Sombra was becoming meta, but we just didn't have the time and the experience to be able to run that Sombra or 3 DPS comps, because a lot of the teams that are good at it now, like Houston, they were running that already since last stage, right? And now it's just, they just got so good at it. The skill, the skill ceiling on those heroes are so high that when you do play amazing on those heroes, you're gonna win, And so we just came in with our strategy, just trying to keep it the way we do. We didn't have a lot of time to do much more, So
now that you mentioned practice time, obviously without revealing it too much or anything, how does the regular week or the regular practice week for you guys look?
Yeah, so we pretty much do Monday to Friday, or even sometimes Monday to Saturday, and we have a schedule. We have to wake up by 11. We have to we have a lunch break, stuff like that. But pretty much for team practice, it's from 11 till 6 o'clock usually, 6 p.m. But after that, we always play more because you have to. If you're not doing it, other people are doing it, right? And then people stream on top of it. So in reality, a full day is probably 11 to sometimes 1 to 3 a.m. I would say that some people if they're feeling like they want to come out early, they'll probably be done by 12. But we try to make sure we incorporate some working out, stuff like that, to just mix it up and have a healthy mind.
So far in the league, you've shown you're one of the most proficient Lucios, at least from what I've seen. You open up plays for the team constantly. What is your thought process when you're playing with Rain, and what are the opportunities you're trying to create for your team?
At this point, it isn't much of a thought process anymore. It's it comes naturally at this point because you practice it so much, and you just know when you gotta do what. You don't even think about it anymore. But only thing you can really create plays is you go for a boop stun where you like boop the enemy Rhine up or like sideways and your Rhine shadows them. Or like, especially in this meta, you gotta be like really careful with the EMPs. Like that is the only thing like at the moment you gotta really like plan and think about. Because like if you get hit by the EMP, the fight is lost pretty much.
It seems like Sombra is the newest thread right now in the league at least. And you playing the Lucio seems like you're one of the people who has to watch out the most for the Sombra, right? Because you're so vulnerable with your ultimate, landing or not. So far I've seen you do a great job keeping up with the Sombras and stuff. Do you have any tips maybe for Lucio's trying to keep up with that sort of thing?
Well, the number one thing is you need to track when the Sombra has ult, because you can't be hiding every fight. You only need to like hide when you know 100% he has EMP and he wants to use it. So probably the best play to like try to dodge the EMPs, just speed your team in. Soon as your like speed starts to fade, you quickly dip into cover and pray to God the Sombra EMPs, because like at the end of the day it's the Sombra's like job to press the Q, because he sees 5 people there, but good Sombras actually like they won't EMP there because they know like you're like 5v6 because your Lucio is hiding somewhere. But it's like just speed your team in and pray to God the enemy Sombra EMPs them.
We actually got to see you play some stuff other than Brigitte. We got to see your awesome Genji. Do you feel like going into this new meta, we're gonna get to see more of that?
Oh, like 2-2? Yeah. 그러니까 오늘 이제 겐지도 좀 했는데 이제 앞으로 다가올 스테이지 4에서도 겐지 많이 기대해 볼 수 있습니까?
일단 지금 메타가 메타인지라 뭔가 겐지는 별로 안 나올 것 같고 스나이퍼 조합을 기대해야 될 것 같아요.
I don't think I'll be playing so much on Genji, but more on double sniper.
What do you think is Atlanta's strongest characteristic right now? Right now we had a very kind of shaky season. We play against a lot of the best teams, and we really put the team to the test. But what do you think we got that maybe some other teams don't have, or what do you think we need to improve on?
뭐 우리 팀만의 특징? 그러니까 이번 스테이지에서는 좀 이제 상위권 팀들을 많이 만나긴 했는데 이제 뭐 그런 거에 뭐 다른 팀과는 뭐 다르다 뭐 이런 거.
일단 애들이 흥분을 많이 하는데 그게 저희 팀의 단점이자 장점인 것 같고, 뭔가 애들이 흥분되면은 뭔가 플레이에서 좀 뭐라 해야지? 그거 다른 생각이 없어지고 뭔가 게임에 집중하면서 플레이하는데 그게 좀 저희 팀한테는 좋은 것 같기도 하면서 안 좋은 것 같기도 해요.
So in game during the match, people just get like hyped up, and they get to sometimes we get really excited, like they'll delve into the game, like dive into the game, and then it's like our strengths and our weaknesses. So like sometimes they would get excited and we'll pop off, but sometimes it would like backfire kind of.
We actually got to see a couple of new strategies. We got to see a new starting roster featuring FRD. We didn't get to see any Daka today, but it seems like it paid off. How do you think the roster is evolving, and you think it's adapting a bit better to the Sombra kind of meta?
Well, I mean, I think the meta has shifted a little bit, right? And like the hero diversity has increased quite a bit. And Fried used to be a DPS player, so with him in the lineup, we get that flexibility.
Fair enough. How do you feel going up against Florida Mayhem tomorrow? It seems like, aside from Atlanta, they have the second biggest crowd here in the venue.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're close to Florida, right? So it's not too far for them to get here. And definitely appreciate all the Mayhem fans who came out regardless. We're going to have to put them down tomorrow, Sorry about that. But, I'm excited to see what their new roster can do. I know they lost today to New York, but from what I heard, the game sounded competitive. I haven't had a chance to see it yet, so I'm going to have to go back and watch the VOD tonight, and we'll see.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you want to maybe share with some of the listeners, some of the fans about the team, and how you've seen them grow since the start of the stage?
Sure. I know we had a rough stage, so just thank you to all the fans who stuck with us through our 0-5 stretch. Happy to break that streak. We're a team of streak breaking, and that was the most important one to break for us today. So.
How do you feel the team has been evolving lately? We had a rough beginning of first stage, but now we've been kind of picking it up again, and we've seen the team starting to adapt. We're seeing a little bit more Sombra. We've seen you play a few more heroes other than Reinhardt, which was what we saw you play the most. We're known to be a really strong GOATS team, but now we've seen a couple of different compositions. We saw some Hanzo, the Sombra coming in. How do you think you've been adapting to kind of keep up with the meta?
이제 이번 홈스테도 그렇고 최근에 보면은 딜러들이 많이 나오고 하잖아. 그래 맞춰서 이제 니도 뭐 윈스턴이나 뭐 오리사나 뭐 라인 말고 다른 영웅들도 하게 됐는데 이제 그런 거에 대해 그런 이제 바뀌는 거에 대해서 이제 니는 이제 얼마나 잘 적응하고 있습니까? 본인은?
지금 뭐였지? 지금 들려오는 소문으로는 투투투 확정이라는 소리가 있잖아요, 스태포 때. 근데 지금은 아니잖아요. 그럼에도 불구하고 다른 팀들이 그 고츠가 아닌 좀 3DPS 아니면 뭐 투투투 이런 거를 기용하고 있어가지고 저희도 그거를 카운터 치느라 뭐 오리사, 레킹볼, 윈스턴 이런 거를 종종 쓰잖아요. 그래서 이렇게 쓰면서 대회에서 또 적응하다 보니까 스텝 4 때는 좀만 더 다듬으면 잘 해낼 것 같습니다.
So there's rumors that stage 4 is going to be 2-2, and but it's not. I mean, it's not 2-2 right now, but people are still running like 3 DPS, like 2-2, instead of GOATs, and because a lot of teams run that. We had to adjust. We had to try to counter that with our own like style. So I had to practice ball. I had to play ball, Orisa, etc. Yeah.
We got to see you play a lot today, more than we've seen you some of the other weeks. How did you feel playing with the team? How do you feel that team is coming together? We had a rough stage, but I feel we're kind of coming out of that hole that we kind of dug ourselves into. How do you think how do you think the team is doing nowadays?
Well, these are my guys. You know, it's like I go to work with these guys every day, 6-7 hours, whatever it is, and so they're, you know, in an environment like this, you have to be friends with your teammates, and I think everybody gets along fairly well. Everybody is pretty good friends, and that made it easy when I got called up to play. And you know, sort of shoehorning me into the lineup, it was really easy to sort of integrate with them. And I think going forward, I think the future is bright. I think we have the players necessary for what may or may not come stage 4. But I think definitely going forward, ending stage 3 like this was a good foot to put forward.
Versatile. We actually got to see you guys play some things that we haven't seen you guys play before. I think Atlanta is known as a really good GOATS team and a team that can hold their ground playing GOATS. But today we kind of saw a few more things from you guys. Is it something you guys been practicing and maybe preparing for like those switches? And we got to see you play a lot more now that Sombra is becoming a little bit more prominent. Does that have anything to do with some of the roster changes and the starting lineups that we've been seeing?
Yeah, definitely. I think at the end of stage 3, there's a lot of mixed matching with comps, so you see a lot of teams running, you know, a whole different bag of compositions. And I think the staff going into this week, you know, we went 0-5 to begin with, and they were like, oh man, like maybe GOATS is sort of falling out of favor because Sombra is so strong, and Sombra is very, very, very good against D.Va. And so I think their idea was maybe putting me in, and then, you know, I have that Sombra in my back pocket in case I need to play it. And I think we flexed well enough. It's just good to be able to have that flexibility in case something unorthodox comes out, and at least you're sort of prepared for it, or you have the right tools to attack that.
Last question here is one of the things that I really liked about how we played today is that we know our strengths sometimes, and for example, rather than try to match the other team on the Hammond DPS or other stuff like that, you guys were making some interesting switches, like bringing Erster on Baptiste, for example. Is that how you try to approach your practice and maybe your counters, rather than learning completely a new comp, maybe just adapting your style?
Yeah, so the cool thing about GOATS or 3-3 is that you can make one maybe 2 switches in probably about 3 different roles, and that comp is still the strongest. Now, obviously, there's stuff that'll like hard counter it, but that's what those 1 or 2 switches will do. So the Baptiste allows you to sustain a lot more. It allows you to get a lot of burst healing, and also adds pressure to a lot of DPS. So we were definitely preparing for stuff like that. We were scrimming teams who are a little bit more DPS oriented, and we went into this weekend with the idea, or with the mindset that we might not be playing just normal 3-3 goats all the time.
Do you want to say anything for the listeners and some of the Atlanta fans moving forward after the Atlanta homestand?
Just thank you. The weekend was great. You guys were all great. The environment was just amazing. You guys are great. Atlanta's great, although it's a little hot here. Yeah. But the environment was totally great. Everybody was really awesome to talk to. I signed a lot of stuff. Everybody was just really, really fantastic to be around. And, subbed to Fran with Twitch Prime.